Hello and welcome to Tartan Touchdown. It's a return of our chat show format for this evening as we get ready for the Women's Flag Football League finals, which is just over a week away as we record. It's a show that's actually too big for just a single episode, so we're splitting this into two parts this evening. We've got 4 of the Elite 8 from Women's Flag this season, representing the Coventry Cougars. First of all, we have Jessica Allen joining us. Hi Jess, how are you?
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's good to have you back. You've become a bit of a regular on the show.
Yeah.
And next up, representing the EK Pirates Red team, making their first appearance at finals, we have Becky. Becky, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. We're very excited.
Well, thanks for joining us. And not too far away, we've got a clubmate from the EK Pirates Black, even got the black kit on to stay on brand, is Abi Coleman. Abi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, doing very good. Great to have you join us because I think we actually caught up at one of the game days early in the season, so good to have you on a podcast to talk about. And finally, rounding our group out this evening from the Sheffield Giants, we have Hana Soar. Hannah, how are things?
Good. Thanks for having me. It's fun.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. This was one of our most popular podcasts of 2025 when we did this previously. So hoping it's going to be similar this evening to really building up to what is actually the first Silverware for British American football in 2026. So really exciting, looking forward to it. So what we're going to be doing this evening is going around each of the teams and the representatives, just having a bit of a chat about how the season's gone, some of the key stories and what we're expecting for finals day in terms of the big matchups. So starting us off, I'm going to come to Jess Allen of Coventry Cougars. Now, it wasn't the case last year. I suppose that was the big story, switching from the Leicester Huntsmen to the Cougars. So Cougars obviously the most decorated team in women's flag in the UK. What was it like joining such a successful club?
Yeah, it was definitely a really exciting time. It was a difficult decision to leave, but it's been a really good season for us. And joining such a prestigious club, I mean, everybody knows the Cougars and everything they've done for flag football in general. Like it was a great honour.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess must have been a bit of a strange one because the final in 2025 really came down to the wire. It was a narrow 21-20 loss to the Panthers. I guess you obviously knew exactly what went down there. Is that still something that's hanging over the team in any way? Has that impacted your preparations?
I mean, definitely we're going into finals ready to win the 10th national championship. That's the goal. That's what we're going in with. And we've done lots of prep and lots of hard work to get that national championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's I guess it's we talked a lot last year about the hunt for 10, so it's been delayed rather than stopped. I think it's fair to say. And obviously the form really from last year's carried over. So last season, of course, as mentioned, the runners up overall, but in the regular season went 15-1. Actually, this season there's a perfect 16-0 record. Already the stingiest defence in the league. You've kept that up again this year, and actually you're scoring even more points per game if that's possible. So your transfer clearly adding to an already pretty dangerous Cougars offence. I think averaging 42 and a bit points per game, topped only by another team that's on on the chat this evening. So Jess, I guess thinking about the season overall and going back to week 1, that actually came just a week after the European Championships. So how did it feel kind of getting back to the domestic game after such a high of defeating Austria in Paris?
Yeah, that was such a long time ago. Oh my God, I'm having to wrap my brain. It was from going from like playing in a stadium to playing on a muddy pitch in London. That was definitely different. But yeah, I mean, we went straight back into it and we were playing teammates that we'd played at Euros with. But you kind of just have to put all of that aside and go into the game of like, you want to win, so you're going to have to play. You have to play teammates that you've played with before.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned playing, with some of your GB teammates, but also against some of them. I think one of the first games you had in that opening game day was against the Coventry Panthers. Now, rebranded as the Onyx. A rematch of that final from 2025. You came out with a 24-12 victory. So how did it feel to start the season off with such a positive note against your biggest rivals?
Yeah, it was nice to start the season with a win, and I think we went 3-0 on that game day, so it was nice to have a 100% win rate on that first game day. Gave me loads of confidence. Obviously, it was my first time playing with the Cougars, so it was a new team, but yeah, we gel, and yeah, it's a stacked team, so got lots to give.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, I mean, in that opening game day, winning against both the Coventry teams and also Nottingham Gold kicked you off to 3-0. So we won't go through every single game in the season, but what does jump out is game day 2, you again faced off against the Panthers in what was a slightly tighter rematch, but again coming out in top 13-6. So I guess at that stage you've faced what on paper looks like your toughest opponent twice, and you've come away with victories. How did that feel in terms of setting you up for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it was nice to come away with 2 wins from that game. Obviously, Panthers are a really tough opponent, but that gave us a bunch of confidence leading into the rest of the season. But ultimately, the games that matter are at finals. You can qualify, but ultimately you've got to win at finals to win out.
Yeah, absolutely. No one needs reminding that after last season that these are the games that really have the stakes. And obviously, as you'd expect, with a 16-0 record, you went on to win every single game for the remainder of the season. But I guess to call out perhaps one other that jumps out from the schedule is facing off against the London Flame on game day 4. So that was a 20-14 win against a side that is definitely on the up. We saw they finished 3rd last year. They've got a number of your GB teammates in terms of Jock and also Kate. Do they look like they could be one of your biggest challengers?
Yeah, I think definitely Flame gave us a game that day, and I think they could do quite well at finals, but we went away, came back, and then won the next time 33-0. So I think we came back and put on a strong performance.
Yeah, and I think it's a great point you make there, because on the final game day of the season, you had to play 4 games in a single day. You, of course, went 4-0, but you didn't concede a single point and scored, by my maths, almost 200 in the process, which is pretty scary looking at that, even as a neutral. So do you feel that you're peaking at the right time?
Yeah, I think definitely. Getting no points scored against us and scoring 200 points was definitely, it was a confidence boost. But I think we're definitely peaking at the right time and hoping to show that all at finals.
We mentioned before, 2 seasons back to back that the Cougars have actually had the stingiest defence, at least in terms of points conceded, playing as a quarterback primarily. How does it feel knowing that the other side of the ball is well taken care of?
Yeah, I mean, I know I have a great defense behind me. If things aren't quite working on offense, I know that they're going to stop. They're going to try their best to stop. And that, yeah, it's a nice feeling to know as a quarterback to have that stacked defense behind you.
And a number of, GB representatives, got Ellie Thorpe, Grace Conway, just to name a couple, making up part of that famed Cougars defence. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a team to look out for in Ravenscraig next week. But your opposition in round 1 of the playoffs is going to be a new team to the postseason, and that's the East Kilbride Pirates Red team, represented this evening by Becky Miller. So, Becky, thanks for joining us. It's going to be a tough task against the Cougars in round 1.
Oh, so tough. Yeah, we're not going into finals with kind of big expectations this season because we are still so new. We've got quite a few girls on the team that are still rookies. It's our first season. So we're using it as a kind of learning experience, but we're all really, really excited, really proud to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something that really jumps out. So I think you mentioned it's not just the players, but even as a team as a whole, that this is your second season in the league. Yeah. Obviously, the Pirates bringing on a second squad, but you've come on leaps and bounds from your initial season where you finished with a 1-11 record. So actually there's a dramatic 2-0 victory, I think, in the final game day last season.
Yeah, it was a safety.
But obviously to then take that next leap and now get into one of the top 8 teams in the country's fantastic progress. So how does that feel to see your team making these kind of strides in the second season?
Yeah, it's really exciting. It gives us a lot of hope for going into next season as well. Like, the girls have a drive now this season. They know how it feels to be competitive, and they now know how it feels to win and to get to playoffs. So I'm hoping it's a learning experience and we can only get better.
The signs have all been really positive throughout the season. So you finished with a 6-8 record to take at the fourth. But really, from day one, admittedly, it was a delayed start to the season in Scotland. I want to say storms was the cause for it. But you actually went into your opening game day in Glasgow and came out with 2 wins against the Snowcats and the Manchester Titans team. So obviously really good start. The third game there being a defeat to the Huskies, but even still quite a tight game. So how did that feel in terms of coming into the season? Week 1, you're at home and you've already topped your previous season's win tally.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, I was very proud of the girls. Like, they really stood their ground, and you could definitely see the improvement we'd made as a team and how much we'd played together as a team that day. It was really good. I was really proud of everyone.
It's a momentum that carried on. So in the second game day, you'd actually pick up another 2 wins against the Huskies and also the Edinburgh Rogues to take you to 4 wins. There was a loss to your inter-club Black, but again, 4-2 after 2 game days and really looking in a strong position. So I guess it just feels like the confidence is starting to flow with the team.
Yeah, the girls now kind of know what to expect of the games and what's expected of them getting into a game as well. Last season, we were quite slow. Most of the girls were rookies. We only had 2, myself and Becca, who'd played football before. Last season, we were full of rookies. This season, the girls now know what to do and know what to expect. They know how to play now, and we're now kind of gelled as a team, They've built so much confidence this season.
Just looking at some of your results on the defensive side of the ball, whenever you've won, you've managed to keep it tight. There's been a few shutouts in there. So you know how to keep games tight. How important has your defence been to your success this year?
I think it's been really kind of needed. Our offence is a lot more inexperienced than our defence. So our defence being a bit stronger has been helpful. And then we now have 2 QBs this year, which has been kind of good. Like, myself being included, this is only my second season playing at QB ever. I've not had much experience myself to do it. So having a kind of stronger defence has definitely helped.
It got a bit trickier through the middle stretch of the season. So after Christmas, you had to play East Kilbride again, a couple of games against the Giants and the Titans. So heading into that final game day, it was all very tight. I think there's some very complicated scenarios, in which case there could have been 3-way ties and possible, but you basically took care of business to be upfront. You took care of the Manchester Titan Bees to nothing. So a very tight game, but you came out on top. So what was, the mindset in that final day that you had a chance to make that next step for the team going to finals?
It was more of we knew we could put up a really good fight against Bees, and we'd already beat them prior in the season, so we had a hope that we could do it again. So going into the final game day, that was our kind of biggest kind of look. That's where we kind of focused most of our attention. The Manchester Bees game, then it pretty much almost secured our place in finals. And then we were hoping to put up a better fight against kind of Giants and Titans in the previous game day before.
And I think it's just it is a fantastic achievement to go from one win to the finals. The next is fantastic progress. So it just must be an amazing feeling for everyone at the club.
Yeah, it's so good. Everyone's so proud, and everyone's excited to go and try finals and see how it feels to be on that further competitive level. Yeah, the games aren't always as competitive as final, and it adds more pressure, so it'll be good for the team to learn.
One thing that's maybe to your advantage as well as to Abi's is having that home advantage. So you get to wake up in your own bed at a fairly reasonable time, get a home cooked breakfast if you want. So do you think, obviously, everyone this evening's had to travel some fairly substantial distances at some point during the season. Does that play in your favour, the fact that you're just down the road?
Yeah, well, Ravenscraig is a 5-minute drive from my house, so it's definitely great. It's lovely. But it's good. It means it gives us more time. We do team breakfast before finals, so it means we can all get together and talk to everyone, and it puts us in a better mindset before the game day.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully, from your perspective, that really does play to your advantage. So wishing you all the best of luck for the finals ahead. Next up, we're going to cross East Kilbride to speak to Abi from the EK Pirates Black. So Abi, thanks again for joining us.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and obviously you've been with the Pirates now for quite a few years. And really, in terms of the regular season, the Pirates Black have been a completely dominant side. Again, the number one seed for the HNC, and a 14-0 record for this season. And a key feature of that, I think, is looking at your offense. So we kind of talked about some of the numbers for the Cougars. You've been the top offense in 24-25 and now 25-26, and actually scoring more points again, 45 points a game this season. So there's obviously a lot of confidence in this East Kilbride side.
Yeah, 100%. Coming away from the season last year, we wanted to prove a point. This year, being we're here for it. We're going to make sure we show what we can do and prove that we're meant to be in the finals and hopefully reach it.
It's maybe worth just taking a moment to reflect on the previous season, because you went through the regular season undefeated and then came up against the London Flame in the first round of the playoffs last year, and you kind of got behind early in that one. Did you feel like you were maybe caught cold at final?
Yeah, I think everybody was just a bit because we hadn't played them before, in the whole season. We done film review, but it doesn't help when you don't see them in person. So because we hadn't played them for the full season, it was a bit we were taken back. So we're right, okay, we need to amp it up a bit, and we couldn't find that fire or the fuel to really pull through, which led us to losing in the first round. But this year, I think we're super ready. We've done all the film review that we can do, the training at practice. I think we are going to come and show up this year, 100%.
Of course, you'll be looking back to the year before that, 2023, when you actually faced off against the Cougars in the final. So you know that you have what it takes to go on that deep run. Yes, think about the Pirates, again, another team that's loaded with talent. So you've got likes of quarterback Ainsley Barr, who's won European Championship, as is Robin McCluskey. And then you've actually got a few young players I think we should really be excited about. So Leah McKendrick, I know, was with you last season, but actually she's now getting offers to go and play flag in the States with various different colleges. And also Eva Holborn-Wright, who obviously her dad's not a bad flag player either, but she's a cracking athlete. She's played with GB Youth. She's played basketball for Scotland as well. So what are they adding to the mix?
Definitely. Leah's adding to the defence for us, I think, with our height and all the skills that she knows. Just being so young and coming through us, it's just helping out our defence a lot more, because through the season we've had pregnancies and injuries that's kind of set us back a little bit, but with her being there, it's really helped out, knowing that we can rely on her as a player to come through and really step up, being so young. And then the same with Eva, she's just a great athlete overall. Some of the catches she makes are just go on, you just can't write it. Genuinely, it's our offence and our defence, I'd say we're quite equal, but it's good having everybody that's so young to know that we can rely on them and step up when they need to.
Yeah, I think about yourself for a moment. So you're actually going great guns, not just in flag, but also in the contact side. So I think you actually had GB camp for both contact and flag last weekend. So
yeah.
Did you find that helps to add to your game, or is it quite demanding?
No, it definitely adds to like my knowledge of American football as a whole and playing both. So like flag helps like my fundamentals, like my footwork, and being able to catch the ball, like watch the ball in and in contact just helps with like the mind games of flag, being mentally prepared as well as physically. So like they just like cooperate together and like help me as a player, and I have fun. So why not do both?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to approach it. And obviously, that is to say that East Kilbride is just loaded with talent
Yeah.
from the north. In terms of what we're seeing for the season, again, an undefeated campaign, much like the Cougars. But in your first 9 games, you've recorded 7 shutouts, which is mightily impressive. So again, you kind of came in with that mentality that you really wanted to make a statement from day one.
100%. Yeah, the defence really lock up, I'd like to say, and shut plays down when it's definitely needed. Everybody just comes together as a team and just works as hard as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, I mean, we've got both sides of the Pirates on the call. So what's it like for you? But I guess also, Becky, same question in terms of having the two teams bouncing off one another.
No, it's really good. I think training, it's so fun. Like, see, when we play against each other, we can mix it up and just go against different levels, which help everybody individually at training. So it's really good, which has helped the Red develop so much playing against us, and it's helped us develop playing against them. It's a very good team, and we all bond very well, I'd say.
So what about yourself, Becky?
I agree. Like, I think us having Black to train with has been probably the drive of what's helped EKP Red like get so much better. Like, we're playing against like so much talent, and like as new kind of QBs, we can't really push the ball as far. So having Ainsley that can throw the ball so far really pushes our defense to like, track deep and try and get those balls. So I think having such good talent really does benefit us.
Absolutely. And I think it's becoming more and more of a theme in the, well, in both the mixed and the women's league. But I mean, just seeing Coventry's now got 2 teams, Panthers, London's got 2, and also Manchester's had 2 for a couple of seasons. So it's great to see the numbers that are getting into the sport, and actually having those existing clubs kind of gives that structure for everyone to grow. So coming back, so obviously mentioned it was a really strong start to the season for East Kilbride Black. However, the schedule did get tougher as the season went on. So in game day 4, you travelled to Manchester, and that was a real shootout against the Titans. You came out 40-39 winners. What was that like in terms of a contest where it'd been pretty comfortable for you?
Yeah, I feel like it was really good for us to have that challenge. It clearly shows that Manchester went away, worked on what they needed to, and came back and really showed us that like they can shut us down. So it gave us like an awakening call almost to really like, guys, we know who we are. We know we can beat this team. Let's do it. So for that game day, I think we had lost like a few players, but I wouldn't put it down to that. It was more, we were like, our defence was just like letting things go over our heads. Like we just had to really work together as a team, and it just helped us and showed us a little bit to like really lock in and like make sure they know what they're doing, and so do we. So like let's lock this down and prove that we still can go undefeated within this season. But it was like more of an awakening call for us, 100%. So training's been very full guns blazing for us.
Does that give you confidence, not only the Manchester game, but of course you faced the Giants in the same, again, 26-18 winners, really tight affair.
Yeah.
Does it give you that added confidence that you know that even when it gets tough, you'll pull through?
Yeah, 100%. Like, the way we can bounce back in the second half is we've always been a second half team. We obviously don't want to be, but it's just always been that way. We can definitely bounce back from the tough times, work together, and really just pull through 100%.
And it all came down to the final game day of the season. So the number 1 seed was still very much in but you went up against the Giants again, and another 20-15 wins. So again, left touchdown in it. So I guess we're really starting to see that the standard in the Northern Conference has really improved this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. The competition's like rised more than it was last year, 100%. Which is really good to see that everybody is developing, like getting their fundamentals down and really getting better at the sport as a whole. Yeah, it's really good to see.
Absolutely. And your reward for taking the first seed, you'll be facing off against Jess's former team, the Huntsmen, in the first round. So what can you expect from facing off against Leicester?
We could just expect our team to do what we do best. Like we'll play our game and see where that takes us, and the coaches will help us make adjustments if need be. But we're definitely going to just do what we do and hope for the best.
Absolutely. Well, you've been doing pretty well so far, so all the best in trying to keep that up come Wednesday. And moving on, we'll come to Hana, who's been patiently waiting from the Giants as our final guest this evening. So, Hana, thanks for coming on the show. Obviously, the Giants, again, a team that's no stranger to qualifying for finals, but really had quite a strong season this year, clinching the second seed in the Northern Conference with a 14-2, 12-2 record.
12-2.
So obviously you've been to finals before, but does this feel like it's a different team this year?
Yeah, it definitely feels different because we had like a bit of a merger we've had quite a few girls from the previous Leeds Samurai join us. So we got some experienced players join after we'd had quite a few vets kind of move on from the sport. And we've had quite a lot of rookies come through this year. And we've obviously got a really good like youth program. So next year, I'm hoping that there'll be even more young legs because mine are definitely getting tired. But yeah, it was just nice to kind of bulk the squad back out again. And the fun part about like flag, especially in the UK, is like everybody knows everybody. So girls from Leeds, they're not strangers, and like we've always enjoyed playing Leeds before, and so it was just kind of like you're just welcoming more friends into the squad, and so it's just been a really fun season. Yeah.
That's awesome to hear, because obviously Leeds Samurai were also a playoff team last year, so I'm taking two strong teams already and just added to that, and that's shown through. So the defense, again, another team that's really tightened up. So you're one of four in the entire league that's conceding less than a touchdown per game. So I'm really starting to get quite stingy.
Yeah, like defense this year. I mean, defense will always have my heart, but we've just been like repping new schemes and really kind of like putting the work in to know what we're doing, like doing classroom sessions to make sure that everyone's on the same page and everybody understands what's happening. So then you put into a game situation and you would like to hope that there's a lot less mistakes and just kind of repping those things off the field so that we're all kind of giving our best when it counts.
Yeah, and I guess one other thing that we want to ask you about is just the growth and the experience of the team, because we talked about this with Becky and Kilbride Red, but last season I think Adam, your coach at the time, had said that you had most of the squad had been playing the game for about 18 months. So now with another year under your belt, obviously you're getting more confident.
Yeah, so we've got like this is my 11th season, and then you've got the likes of Marta, who's played for long enough, and then you've got some of like Tanya and Nee and some of the girls from Leeds who, like, Tanya's played as long as me, if not longer, and then some of the Leeds girls like Sunshine and stuff who have got a bit more like 5+ years under their belt. But then we've got the ones that were like a year, 18 months in. Like some people last season, it was their first season. And then, this year we've got a few people, it's their first season. But the ones from last year who's then put the work in, like they're starters now, like they've like really grown and put the effort in. And
Adam is a fantastic coach. Like, I cannot shout about him enough. Like, he knows so much about the game. He puts the effort in, like, and he takes the time for each person to like help them understand how they can do their game better rather than just a one size fits all, because we're all different. And I think that's been like the key to seeing us grow, is that people have had that specific coaching for them to improve their game. And obviously, like, at training, we all help each other, and we're always kind of helping each other to, hey, you've made that mistake again, like, this is how you need to correct it, now let's do it together, and push each other. And yeah, it's just been really good in that aspect to see people like really grow.
It just sounds like there's so many different strands that really come together for the Giants. I mean, just to you name dropped a few people there, but just to risk aging myself here, I played against Tanya at the 2017 mixed finals. So obviously that's just someone that's been in the game for a long time and a big part of Sheffield, both for the women's and the mixed teams. But I also, again, you mentioned Marta Matthews or Matthews.
Matthews, yes.
Coventry stuck in my head from the Euros.
I know.
Again,
we
you've
say
got
it all the time.
Played at the top level, and it seems that, you know, whenever there's a big play needed, she's in and around the ball.
Yeah, well, there is that, but I think because people know how good she is, she gets double covered. So there's a lot of times where there are plays where we kind of know that maybe the game plan's going to be that Marta's going to get taken out of the game and we need to fill the gaps, you know? So, and I think just like, it's always really helpful having people with a lot of experience who can like make the big plays and do that kind of stuff. But sometimes then that makes quite a lot of space for other people to grow and other people to go, hey, I want to be that good. Okay, what do I need to do to get there? So it's just, yeah, she's a good all-round player. What can I say?
It is the ultimate team sport, flag football or American football, whatever the form is. And like you say, you can game plan to take one person away, but if you've got other players that can step up, if you've got the quarterback that can dive defense, then you know that's always going to play to your strengths. And as we said, it's paid dividends in terms of getting that number 2 seed. So just looking at some of the highlights from the season. So you came in on game day 1 and just made an immediate impact, put up almost 100 points in 2 games against the Rogues in Aberdeen, having to do that on the road in Glasgow as well. So what was that like, getting the campaign off to such a strong start?
Yeah, that first game day was so much fun because it was the first time that some of us were playing together. So it was the aim of the day really was to kind of go out and like put everything that we've trained for on the field, but the aim was to like gel together and have fun and you know, make all the new people feel welcome, and what would be, you know. And like, it was just for defense, we had 9 pick sixes that day in 2 games. And so defense were off to a flying start, and like just seeing all the work that we'd put in on defense with different schemes and stuff, and then seeing them pay off in the way they did was like just really good for us. Yeah, and just kind of the offense was, I think it was like pretty much mostly a previous Leeds girls offense. So just kind of seeing that potential start, and then it was just a lot of gelling together and having fun, and seeing what we needed to work on basically.
So I mean, it's quite common in flag for a lot of players to play both ways. So you actually find that having that specialisation for offence or defence has helped your success?
We have, I mean, I wouldn't say we really have that many players that only play one side of the ball, which is obviously really fun because it adds great depth. For me, like, I play both ways, and then Marta will play both ways, you know, like Tanya can play both. There isn't really like many people, we've got maybe 3 or 4 that would say that they're like, I'm only offense or I'm only defense. So just having that depth between players of people can rep in and out and people can slot into positions, and it allows for, different looks and different schemes and different strengths and weaknesses and all those kind of things. So that's really good when it comes to the Giants, and just shows like how well people are willing to train and put the effort in and be a team,
Particularly early in the season, you won 9 straight games to kick off the season, really put you in the driving seat for going on to finals. I guess looking down those results, perhaps one that really jumps out to me is 28-0 win over the Manchester Titans, who also playoff bound. They were number 2 seed in the North last season. And it's always been pretty competitive between yourselves and the Titans. So what's your recollections of that performance?
Yeah, it's always a rival between us. We both love each other and always want to win. But they're a really good team. They're really well drilled, and I think we'd studied them. We've played them so many times before, and it's always been close games. Like, it's always 1 point in it or a tie or that kind of thing. And we were just like, hey, we've never won 8 straight games in a row before. Like, that's a season record by quite a long shot. And we just wanted to keep that winning streak going, but we knew that we would have to really kind of step up and bring our A game. And I think it was, we did film study, we did classroom sessions, we created our game plan, and we just stuck to it. And yeah, it worked.
Late in the season, you had to go back-to-back against Kilbride Black in 2 game days. 2 very close games. We've also discussed it with Abi, both won 4 games. So keeping it really tight against the 1 seeds and someone that's looking to go deep into the playoffs. What can you, from the Giants' perspective, take from those games?
Well, I think it was definitely a blessing in disguise, that first game day being rained off, because I'm pretty sure last season, and I don't know if it was the season before, every single time our first game of the season is always EKB Black. And we have less numbers, and they are such a well-drilled team, and they have such a depth of players that sometimes we're thinking we need a bit of warm-up time, guys, rather than coming in hot, and so it was a blessing in disguise to meet them later in the season. But that first game day, for us, I think we were doing so really well as a team, but we made some key mistakes. And it was small things in the game, just not picking up somebody in an end zone play. Well, that's going to cost you a touchdown, because against a team like EKP that have played together for so long and they all think with the same brain, it's like they're going to capitalize on those mistakes. Whereas maybe other teams, you might get away with it. You're not going to against EKB Black. So it was just, for us, we felt like we maybe lost that game ourselves, if you know what I mean. Whereas in the last game we played them, we were 5-10 yards out 3 times and didn't score with 4 downs to go. Their defense was really good, but you just think if we'd got those 3 touchdowns, I know, and we were 10 yards out with a couple 2 downs left, and then we've ran out of time. If we'd managed the time better, then yeah, maybe we might have scored that last touchdown. But it wasn't, that game for us wasn't that we lost it because we didn't show up. It was that we just lost it on everybody played a really good game, and it's just how the game went, So I think for us, it was a good, for me, personally, I think we were night and day team just between those 2 games of how we showed up and how we played. and we just didn't convert when we needed to. So
absolutely, but like we've said already, you're into the finals now. You know that you're only one score, one play away from potentially putting a real statement victory. And having had such a fantastic season, getting that number 2 seed, your reward for that is to face off against the defending champions.
I know.
Panthers. So what are your thoughts on having that matchup, which I think is actually a rematch of your quarter-final last year?
Yeah, I think we're really looking forward to it, and I'm really glad that we actually played EKP Black in the last 2 game days, because them being such good competition has meant that we're like really going into finals having just had some really high intensity games. And so I think it's we've done film study. We know kind of what to expect from last year, but it's always really hard when you've not played them all season. It's always really hard to kind of judge what might happen, but we're just gonna give it our best. I mean, they're in the top 4 of the defenses, so we know offensively it's going to be a tough game. And so we're going to just play our game. Hopefully it'll be tight. We'd like to see, because they're such a good team. So it's going to be tough, but we'd like to give it our best.
And I'm sure you will. I think it's really shaping up to be a very exciting round of matches at Ravenscraig on Saturday the 14th.
It's kind of like anything could happen.
Every team is going to be tough. Every team is going to be tough. It's going to make for a really exciting day.
Yeah. Like, you just don't know what's going to happen on finals day.
Genuinely, last year's final between the Cougars and Panthers, I've had a bit of a recurring theme with Brian from our podcast, who's never really watched, never mind played flag, and said that final is actually a fantastic advert for the sport. There's been 3 women's finals actually last year, between the World Games, between the Euros, and obviously the National Championship. Just all fantastic, final play deciders. And I think right the way through the tournament bracket, we're starting to see so many teams taking on leaps and bounds. We've talked about how there's a lot of young players coming into the sport, but with every year they take that next step. And also looking at the GB team from last year, obviously for some of you who are training in the GB camp, it's maybe not a surprise, but looking back, you think, wow, all these people making their debut for GB, they made some big plays at finals last year, particularly with the Olympics coming up in a couple of years. And the fact that we have such a strong GB program, you're starting to think, actually, there is almost certainly going to be some future Olympians on display, which is really, really cool to think about.
But yeah, it's very exciting.
With finals obviously being a week away, let's get some thoughts in terms of what your hopes, what your expectations are. Becky, obviously, is the newcomers to finals with EKP Reds. What can we expect next week?
We don't really know what to expect with it being our first in finals, so we don't have a lot of expectations right now, but we're hopeful that we'll be able to come and we'll be able to play competitively, and we might be able to put up a fight against Cougars. But we are very aware that Cougars are like such a good team with good fundamentals, and they're so strong that like some of our girls, we're not quite there yet, but we're hoping we'll put up a good fight. And you never know what happens. Anything could happen on the day.
Absolutely. And of course, one of the beauties of the finals is that there's also the plate competition. So everyone is able to match up against teams from across the UK at that level. And obviously, it was East Kilbride Black last year that took the plate. So there's going to be opportunities there for the teams that don't make it to the first round. So it's really exciting. Abi, back to you next in terms of Black.
We're just really excited to be through again, really show what EKP Black is, and hopefully make it the full way to the final, playing our game, knowing what we're made of, and hopefully getting that trophy.
Hannah, obviously you've just given us a great rundown on the Giants, but you've been to a few finals now. What can we expect from you next weekend?
I think again, it's just like playing our game, but you've got to go in it totally open-minded. Like anything can happen on finals day. You don't know. You can make a game plan of, who you think you might come up against, but you have to make a game plan for every eventuality, because you just don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, I think it's always exciting. I mean, I would absolutely love to see the Giants make it to the finals. I've been in one final in my life, and this was back in, I think, 2018 against the Cougars. That was the last time the Giants were in the finals, I think, in Sheffield. So I think, yeah, it'd be nice to see a finals again. But again, you just don't know. We'll have fun along the way, and we'll do our best.
Absolutely. You really touched on it. You know who your first round opponent is, but across the rest of the day, there's 6 other teams that you could potentially face, which makes it so difficult to prepare for whatever scenario that the bracket's going to throw up for you. Finally, Jess, we'll come to you. So you already have a GB European gold in your pocket, but no national titles. Yeah, this is your first chance on Saturday to add to that.
Yeah, I think I'm really excited. I'm used to overtimes now, so I think I've had enough of overtimes. Love an overtime. I think we're just really excited to go into the day. We know what we're capable of, and we know what we can do. So, but yeah, we're excited to play EKP Red. Obviously, playing a different team that you haven't played against all year is always exciting. You don't know what to expect, but yeah, we're going in with a goal, and we've put in lots of work, so it'll be a good day.
Fantastic. Well, I think it really is shaping up to be a fantastic day. We're only halfway through this preview. Of course, we've got 4 other teams joining us. So at the beginning of next week, you can expect to hear from Tika from Manchester Titans. We have Josh Abed from the London Flame. We have Abi Snelson, fellow GB player from the Coventry Panthers. And we also have Charlotte Knights from the Leicester Huntsmen. Be sure to catch the second part of our preview. The finals themselves are coming up on Saturday, the 14th of March at the Ravenscraig Regional Sports Facility, which is just outside of Glasgow. So for those of you who can make it, is bound to be a superb event. And I'm not joking when I say I think there are going to be some future Olympians on display in that event. If you can't catch the games live, there will be a stream on, I believe, the BAFA YouTube channel, so obviously look out for that. But we will be there on the day speaking to the players and following along with the event for what is sure to be fantastic competition. So I just want to say thanks again to everyone for joining. I know it's a very busy time of the year, whether that's with GB camps, jobs, studying, and of course actually preparing for the finals themselves. So thanks to Becky, Jessica, Abi and Hannah for joining this evening.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. And don't forget to follow along on our Instagram, TikTok. If you wanted to make sure you catch the latest podcast, you can subscribe to us on Spotify or wherever you get your favourite podcasts. Thanks very much for joining, and we'll see you soon.